All right, we are recording. Welcome everybody to Power Hour. It is Thursday, the 3rd of May, day 123 of the year. We've got 242 days left. What's interesting is we are at the third way of the year mark. So a couple days ago, we hit 1/3 of this year is already done. I don't know if that freaked anybody else out, but I was kind of surprised that a third of 2018 is done. So that's wild. So hopefully everybody is tearing it up and getting after their goals of what they're wanting to achieve. Um, One of the things that we do on Power Hour is that, and a lot of you guys have done it, but if you don't mind, go ahead and turn your video on. That really helps tremendously for everybody that's here. And while you might not think it makes a big difference, it does. It helps other people know that there are other human beings in this fight just like they are. And if you're at a spot where you can't, I understand. But if you are and you can, that is awesome. If you don't mind turning that video on, and might put you out of your comfort zone a little bit, that's okay too. That's by design as well. So with that said, just like we do every week, we do it a couple times a week, Mondays, Thursdays, and as well as Saturdays with Mr. Spencer Wynn. We open it up for questions first. So if you've got any questions that has been on your mind, go ahead and unmute the call and ask away. The purpose of Power Hour is for you guys. It's for people that have maybe just recently started. Maybe it's somebody that's been in for a couple of years. Everybody in between. It is for anybody that is searching for additional skills to increase their abilities in this profession. And make no mistake about it, this is a profession. This is not a hobby. You can treat it like a hobby. It'll pay you like a hobby, but this is a profession. Just like golf is a profession, you can treat that like a hobby, and a lot of people do that. So, but in this, definitely treat it like the business that it is. Learn the skills that are necessary, and if you do that, you'll be able to change everything that you want to. So, any questions from anybody? Nobody wants to go first. All right. Well, I've got a few things to talk about as usual, but if you do have a question, feel free to interrupt me. And if I'm well on my way into this thing, just send a note in the chat session and we'll be able to get to that. What I wanted to do today is I gave you all the foundation on Monday night on the steps that we do. There's 5 steps. And I like to go over those every single time because I want to make sure everybody is crystal clear on the process. And if you haven't heard it in the last 15 minutes, then it's worth hearing it again. And what that is what we do. If you're brand spanking new in this business, you got to start with a why. You got to start with why you are here. Why did you decide to put down your hard-earned money into a business, get some stuff sent to you in the mail so that you can get this crazy thing started? Why did you do that? If you don't know why, then it doesn't matter anything else we try to train you, teach you, go over. It's just not going to make a difference. Here's the other thing that I'll weave in there. Once you've got your why, I want you to also go ahead and choose that you are going to work this business. It's interesting to me that a lot of people will come into this, they'll put their money down, they'll go through all the training, they'll have a why, but they'll never take action towards their why. They'll never take action. That is a choice. Now, I have some good ideas on why they don't. It's called fear. It's called doubt. Doubt will take you out of action. But I promise you this, action will take you out of doubt. You ever have something that you were really nervous about, and then you finally just kind of, gutted it out and just said, I'm just going to go do this. And you go take action and you feel a whole lot better when you're doing something? That's not just what that was, it's everything, and this is included. Take that action, you'll do it. I had a good quote that I wrote down that no trainer, nor coach, nor expert can make you good, make you great, or make you unstoppable if you aren't going to do the work. Plain and simple. I can get on here and pour my blood, sweat, tears, heart, passion, go crazy, do stupid analogies, make funny jokes that are terrible. I do all that every single night. I do it for 50 days straight even. But if you aren't going to do anything with it, you aren't going to get anywhere. That's all there is to it. Coming to this is one major part of it. You have to get plugged in. If you're not plugged in, you will fall out. That's all there is to it. You got to stick with the group. It's so important. But just coming to this, that's not all. You've got to take action. I'm telling you this not because I want you to know what you have to do for yourself. I want you to know that you can do this. Every single person on here can do this. Every single person on here can make it to Jade. Jade is you and 3 other people coming on board. Every single person can do that. Every single person on here knows 100 people. Every single person on here can screw up 97 times and still make Jade. I think I only know one example of somebody that went through 100 people that didn't hit Jade. I think it was Christy Kendall. I think she went through 200 or plus no's before she got her first yes. She's a diamond, by the way, in the organization. And she did that on her own, by the way, too. A lot of people think that that was given to her. Not one bit. That girl works. So if you believe that you can get 3 people out of 100, then it's just a matter of going and doing it. Now, I'm telling you, your numbers are going to be a whole lot easier than that. I'm going to tell you that the average is going to be somewhere around 15% of the people are going to say yes. Out of your first 20 people, you should most likely get 3 that are going to say yes to this. That's an average. And y'all know how averages work, so I'm not going to waste time on that. So the first thing is you just got to start taking action. You got to have your why. You got to have a list. If you don't have a list of people, then you don't have anybody to talk to, and this business is really hard. Now, a lot of you say you don't have anybody. Now, that's fear again screwing with you. That's that little terrorist that I like to talk about all the time, sitting on your shoulder there, whispering all that nonsense into your ear. Your why is what's going to tell that terrorist to shut up. If the why is big enough, you're going to push past all of that nonsense. If your why is not big enough, you will succumb to all of that talk that's going on by that little terrorist, and you won't take action. That's all there is to it. It ain't rocket science. Can you do it? Absolutely. You got to choose to. Once you do that, then what we do is we build rapport with each of those people. Building rapport is basically, it's like, I'm going to give you another analogy, and I've been working on this one, and I like it a lot. It holds. Go to the doctor's office tomorrow, and you get, the clipboard, and you get the paper and the pen, and it's got, let me share my screen here. You got the form, and you got to fill out all the information, and then it's got the picture, and then it's got the boxes on, what are you trying to achieve here today with your visit? Does it hurt here, or does it hurt here, or does it hurt here? And you kind of fill out all those things, and then you go over and it says, all right, what is it that you're looking for today? Are you looking for long-term preventative care? Are you looking for, fixing that broken arm that you have right now? What are you here for? So what we do is we show up when we're talking to somebody after we've done our why and after we've done our list, and we start into the rapport step. And you bring your clipboard out, your mental clipboard, and on your clipboard, you've got a couple of things on here. And the first one is wealth. Second one is health. Third one is time. Fourth one is beauty. And the fifth one is charity. And your job walking around with this clipboard is to get answers to this survey. Which one do they want to fix? Now, how do you do that? You got to ask some questions. And if you ask the right questions, you will get the right answers. If you start with questions about them, if you start with questions about family, occupation, recreation, motivation, things like this, you will start to find out which of those 5 things they want help with. It just happens. Human beings will start sharing some of the craziest things with other human beings if you ask the right questions. When you do that, you're going to get a check mark in one of the boxes. Once you get that check mark that you think in your mental checkbox here, that that's their issue, then you verify it by piquing their interest. The way you do that is say, hey, what I heard you say was Susie's got to get to college and you haven't been saving up enough money and you got a money problem. And then you be quiet for a second. What are they going to say? Well, yeah. Why do you ask? You've piqued their interest. They want to know, oh, you're interested in what it is I do? Okay, well, simple. Here's how I can help you fix that. I know a guy. And they can fix that. They're going to say, well, I want to talk to the guy. Or you ask them, do you want to talk to my guy? They're going to say yes or they're going to say no. If they say no, then what they filled out on the survey wasn't as big of a deal as you thought. Now, maybe you got it wrong, or maybe they said it and they didn't mean it. One way or the other, you don't have a survey filled out accurately. It's time to ask some more questions. Well, I thought you said your elbow was hurt, and now you're pointing to your knee. Which one is it? So ask some more questions. Get some more answers, throw it back at them and say, do you really want to fix your knee problem now? Yes, I do. It hurts real bad. Cool. Sometimes it hurts, but not bad enough that they want to do anything about it. Has anybody encountered that person yet? That one that says, I want to make more money. I don't make enough money. I'm tired of working all these hours. I'm tired of not seeing my kids. And then you show them something and you ask them if they want to look at something. They go, I don't have time for that. That's the grown-up excuse for the dog ate my homework. Yes, you do have time for that. Your job at that point is to break them out of that ritual mindset that they keep saying that keeps them in that same rut that they're in over and over every single day of their very boring, irritating life. There's nothing worse than wanting out but not taking action to do it. You are completely not congruent, and that causes a lot of stress in people's lives, and that's why most people are not happy. That's why they're not satisfied. That's why they hate their job. Pretty much everybody here except Thaddeus and Bonnie probably hate their job. And Thaddeus and Bonnie are pastors, so that's why I say they probably don't hate their job. So you need to find out what they want truly. And if you can figure that out, then you can move forward with them. So here's what I want everybody to do. I want to show everybody how to hit Jade. I want that to be your focus, your sole pure focus. I don't want you to get all freaked out about pearl or sapphire or any of those things. I don't care if you're already a sapphire. I don't care if you're already an emerald or a ruby or a diamond or any of those things. Here's what I would highly suggest if you want your business to take off is go make Jade again. And if you haven't done it yet, let's do it for the first time. Let's go make Jade. Here's how you make Jade. Bring 3 people into your business. Let's show you how that works. Let me share my screen. Here's you. There's Al, there's Bob, and there's Chuck. Al, Bob, and Chuck happens to be in your list. Remember this list? I didn't draw the list. You've got your why. You've got your list. You had 20 people in here. You went through the steps that I just talked about. You get a 15% conversion rate off of these 20 people. Al, Bob, and Chuck off your list decide to be in your business. That's what you are shooting for. You're all going to come in at the $5.99 or higher package. If you don't know why you want to do that, then I refer you to the Power Hour website. At the top of it is a $3.99 versus $5.99 video. Watch that before you go to bed tonight if you think $3.99 is a fine option for people to come in at. And if you haven't seen it in a while, call it 3 weeks. I'd watch it again. So everybody's going to come in at $5.99, and that's going to be 500 points of QV. So 500 here, 500 for Al, 500 for Bob, and 500 for Chuck. Okay? So when that happens, you're going to have 2,000 points total in your organization. Okay? The requirement is that you also have 1,000 of those points outside of your largest leg. Actually, it's 800 points outside your largest leg. Now, if you look at this, you have 1,000 points. You've got you and you've got Bob here. So that means you got 1,000 outside your largest leg. You got 2,000 total. So check mark for the 2,000, check mark for the 800. You're a J. Now, along the way, you're probably going to get some customers too. And here's your customer leg. And some of those people are going to say no to being in your business. So again, you had 20 people on your list. You build rapport, you pique interest, you fill out that survey with them, and you pass the ball. You edify your leader and you pass the ball. You don't give them the information. You know a guy. You're not fixing their plumbing problem. You know a plumber. Do not try to fix their problem. You don't have any proof of fixing that problem. But you have trust. Use the trust, point to the proof, and let the proof go to work for you and do the work. That's the done for you model. So out of those 20 people you talk to, 15% of those that you go through that system with are going to say yes. You've got 3 business partners. That means you've got 17 people that said no. Out of that 17, get 5 of them to be your customer. Or when you're talking to those people, the check mark was in the health box, and that's all they cared about fixing. Make sure you ask them if they want to know about the wealth box, though. A lot of y'all chicken out because you don't want to talk to the business side, and you just go to the wealth side. Here's the deal. You shouldn't be talking about either one of those. You're asking questions, and you're not answering those questions when they ask you. You say, you got a guy. I'm not really sure. I just got started. I'm trying to figure it all out. I'd screw it up if I tried to explain it to you. Let me just put you on with my guy. You're the one that said you got the problem. You want to fix it? You still want to fix it? Let me put you on with him. Why would you not want to chat with him? You don't have time? How bad of a problem are you dealing with? It's going to take literally 5 minutes to chat with them. They do or they don't. If not, that's one of your 17 no's. Cool. You're one step closer to getting one of your yeses. Are you going to get no's in this business? Yes. You are definitely going to be rejected. Here's what I want to talk about that real fast. What are you being rejected on? Do you think that the sushi lady at the grocery store on Sunday handing out sushi feels rejection when she says, would you like some sushi? And they go, no, I don't care for sushi. Have you ever seen a sushi lady grab her tray of sushi and slam it against the wall and lose her ever living frickin' mind? Then y'all don't do that either. They don't want to do it. Cool. Keep being broke, keep being poor, keep being hurting. That's your choice. You're offering it. You're not going to chase them down, tackle them, and shove blueberry juice down their throat, which is a tactic, and I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying you're probably not going to do it. So be cool when they say no. Okay, no problem. I had a guy, oh my God, this guy, he is so in his own head. He is so fearful. And he's a rock star. He can absolutely blow this up. But he got in his own head. He was all in. He's ready to go. And then all of a sudden, he's not ready to go. Why? Because that little terrorist got a hold of him. That little terrorist that said, you remember last time you did this? Nobody recognized you. Nobody patted you on the butt and said you're doing such a good job. You remember that? And he ain't going to join. That's cool. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We're getting ready to open up all sorts of countries and just absolutely own the entire world, but you do you. That's fine. No problem. Here's what I really love is when people say how they're going to blow something up. When somebody does that, it's almost the kiss of death. Somebody comes on and I am going to kill this thing. Oh, crap. That's not what I wanted to hear. You're going to bump your gums, tell me all this great, amazing stuff you're going to do, and you ain't going to do a damn thing. The people that got to talk about it are usually the ones that got a little terrorist on there that they're trying to convince that terrorist. They're trying to convince themselves they're going to go do it. Stone cold killer, somebody that's an absolute beast, somebody that goes out and makes it happen, does not have to tell everybody what they're going to go do. They're going to say, watch my feet, don't watch my lips. So when you get somebody that's coming in telling you all what they're going to do, probably go ahead and chalk them up. Maybe they join, we'll see. But let's just chalk them up as a no and keep talking to somebody else. You need 3 people to join. How many of y'all feel like you're getting rejected a lot and not getting anybody to join your business? Raise your hand if that's the case. Cool. All right. For y'all that raised your hand, right into the chat session, how many people do you believe you have reached out to since you've had a yes? And let's put that in the chat channel. How many people do you think that you have spoken with since you've had a yes? People that feel like you're reaching out to everybody and nobody's saying yes. How many of those do you have in there? 60? Okay. 32. Cool. 10 no's for every yes. Cool. Okay. 35. Feels like hundreds. Feels like. That's why we track our numbers, by the way. About 25. Good. 30. Okay. I'm seeing a trend. No problem. William, 80. Linda, 30. Cool. Now, for y'all that put numbers out there, put another number on how many people you've sponsored in the business so far. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. Good numbers. So here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a ratio. I'm seeing, let's take Mike, for instance. Mike's joined. Mike's been in for almost 3 weeks. Mike's reached out to 60 people. He hasn't had anybody say yes yet. Mike, have you had 60 people say no? You can go ahead and unmute.
Still got some maybes hanging there.
Okay. So out of 60, you would say what? Maybe 50 have actually said no, or they just haven't replied, or?
That's 50 is probably right. Well, I don't even count they haven't replied.
Okay. That's a different one because you haven't even had the conversation yet.
Yeah, I'm not done with them.
Exactly. But of everybody on here, you had a big number, and I want to address that. And I know where Mike's mind is on this thing. Mike's all in. Mike understands this game. He's been there, done that. He's a pro. He gets it. And so, and he's going into, it's a lot of cold market, Mike?
Just semi-warm, somewhere between warm and cold. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then looking at Kyle, you got 32. Kyle, let's see. Do you have anybody that's come in? Kyle, you haven't got anybody yet. So you've got 32 that you've reached out to. None have said yes. So when we start getting into that type of number, one of the things to take a look at is, are you doing the steps? You start looking at your pipeline. You start looking to see, okay, is it them or is it me? Have I not found the right person yet, or am I doing something wrong? And that's where you look, and are you building rapport? Are you asking those questions to be able to get the answer to that survey? And you're the only one that's going to be able to answer that. I can ask a lot of the questions, but you'll be the one that's actually doing that. Sherry, for every 10 no's, got a yes. Feels like hundreds that Karen's gotten for no's, but Karen's also sponsored 9 people. So William and Linda, you've each sponsored 2, and then you've had 80 and 30, 110 that have said no. So 110 that have said no, you've got 4 that have said yes. So what is that, about 20, 30 a piece that you're going to go through. Now, also, it's the time that you've been in, and it's the skill that you have. Just like anything, you do it long enough, you're 15%. You're going to start off at 0%. That's what's going to happen. And then you're going to keep going through them, and you're going to find some. And now you're going to have other people that go through 20 people, and they're going to get 15 people are going to join. How are they doing that? For one, they've got an amazing rapport built with those people. Those people completely trust them to a whole nother level. Other things are they're following the system perfectly, and they're passing the ball with the edification, and they're getting past any type of objection that they have before they even look at it. The other thing is the people that you're actually dealing with on that list. Are you dealing with 3s and 4s, or are you dealing with 8s and 9s? A lot of times when you get started, you'll start off with the 3s and 4s. Those are easy. You have influence over them. It's not about the influence that you have over them. It's the trust that you have with them. You can have influence over a lot of people. You can have a lot of people come in just because you told them to come in. Are they coming in because you told them to come in, or are they coming in because they have a why? Because you can coerce a lot of people to come in. Doesn't mean they're going to go take the steps and learn the steps to continue to duplicate. So what I want everybody to recognize is, yeah, you're going to go through no's. That's okay. But what you need to do is make sure that you go back and you review where those no's came from and define what a no is. Is it that they just never replied? Well, then you need to follow up. A no is when somebody says, don't ever call me again. I'm not interested. A lot of y'all will get, I had this one happen. Somebody said, they said, we're all set on nutraceuticals. That was the response. Thank you very much. They were so cute and adorable. They thought that was going to shut me up. That was funny. I came back to them with a voice note and I said, hey, completely understand, no problem, but here's what I also know. Everybody says that. But you haven't even looked at this one. You don't even know what this one is. Have you done a side-by-side comparison? Do you know what this nutraceutical offers? Do you know what the amount of money that this thing offers? Probably not. Why? Because you said you're all set. Here's what people do that for. They do that because they don't think they have time and they're busy. And I get it. I'm busy. I own my own business. I work in corporate America. I went down the whole street. I said, but here's the other thing I know. If I wouldn't have had an open mind, if I had a closed mind, then I would have passed over something that has been the greatest choice I have ever made in my entire life to come on board with this, because I looked. Now, if you choose that you don't want to look, then you're closed-minded, and that's fine. But if you'd at least like to look at this, I just want a few minutes on the phone with you. And then we'll see. And I'm going to keep doing that until they answer me. Or they say, don't ever call me again. And then I call one more time. And then I don't ever call them anymore. But I always do it one more time. So when you think you got to know, you just got resistance. That's all you got. It's real easy when your belief level hasn't reached a certain level. It's really easy to be able to go, oh, they said no. Okay, back off. I don't want to damage a relationship. You can't have a conversation with somebody. You can't tell them that, hey, you've never tried this before. What are you, 3? I know I don't like it. You haven't tried it yet. I know I don't like it though. That's what a 3-year-old says. Well, 4-year-old. So overcome the resistance. Tell them you're acting like a 4-year-old. You're my friend. I can tell you that. Why would you not even look? What's the holdup? And then you got to dig into their life, figure out about them. What is it about what I said that you think you're going to have to do if you even look at this? I mean, is the boogeyman going to come out and grab you if you just look at this? You told me up front that you wanted to solve a problem. Now, all of a sudden, you don't even want to look. Did you solve that problem that I missed or something? Now, if you come at them from a sales perspective and you don't find out what they want, you're going to get a whole lot of rejection. You're going to get a stupid amount of rejection. Why? Because you're trying to sell them something and they know that you don't care about what their needs are. My ratio is so unbelievably freaking high when I get on the phone with somebody that I close them is because I spent 30 minutes asking a lady about herself when I was doing an inoculation call. This is after somebody already did the setup to get them on the phone with me. I kept asking questions. 30 minutes I found out about her. I could write a book about this lady. Then she asked, I've been talking this whole time. Tell me about you. What's this all about? Well, now I got every piece of ammo I need. I got done with that. I had lunch with her today. Less than 24 hours later, I had lunch with her. She drove from the Heights in Houston to the Woodlands, 30 miles through traffic to come have lunch. 2-hour lunch that I gave a presentation to. She went through 2 napkins from crying about what this business is going to do for people. She's coming in at the big package. She's getting her boyfriend that's going to be coming in at the middle package, at least, probably going to come at the big package. And she knows everybody. By the way, she's from Idaho, and she used to live in Alaska. Isn't that fun to be able to weave into a conversation when you actually know something? It's just cheating then. I mean, it's just not fair. Why? Because I knew exactly what she wanted. And I was able to show her how Kyani's going to be able to get it for her. I had that survey filled out. I took the patient's history to the nth degree. When's the last time you had a good doctor? What does that doctor do? That doctor has a good bedside manner. Why is that? Because they sit there and they spend time with you to find out about you. You're not a cow going through that they're just quickly running as many people through as possible. They care about you. Guess what? People want to hear that too. That's why your numbers aren't as high. Potentially, you decide. You know it's your business. You're the one doing it. You're the one that knows what the reactions are. And what I'm here to do is give you different scenarios and different options on what you can do, show you some different examples of how this goes, and then you can compare that to see, am I doing it that way or am I doing it differently? Is it right? Is it wrong? Let me ask some questions. Let me come to Power Hour and ask those questions. I did this. This didn't work worth a damn, Casey. What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? That's what Power Hour's for, is for y'all to bring those types of questions. And when you ask those questions, that's why I want everybody's video on, is because that's going to help everybody else get better. Is it outside of your comfort zone? Probably. Absolutely. Bearing your soul in front of 43 other people isn't comfortable. Guess what? Being rich as all get out isn't comfortable either, but you'll figure it out. Having an impact where people call you in the middle of the night saying thank you, that ain't comfortable either. But it's cool. All right, let's see what questions we got. Mike, go for it.
I'm not all as good as you say. Definitely am learning like crazy listening to you, and I love it. I think maybe you actually want the I don't know. I have 5, 6 customers that well, 1 in and 4 or 5 pending, that will be monsters if I can get them in as customers and the product does what I think it's going to do for them.
Raise your hand if you have had a customer that has turned into a business partner. Cool. Look on the other page too. That happens sometimes it's hard to keep customers. I know Brian Penso has that big problem all the damn time. He just keeps turning them into business partners. So it's okay. It's a good problem.
Well, yeah, and some of them are seriously going to be great, especially when they get that testimonial behind them. But I've made maybe a mistake. I'm not necessarily turning them all over. I should be doing that.
On the customer side, you're turning them to proof, and that proof is Wellness Simplified.
That's what I'm doing.
Perfect. And then you follow up with them. So that's the add tag follow up. Make sure to follow up. Hey, did you look at that article? Are you ready to order the product, or did you have any questions? I'm ready to order. Boom. I've got some questions. I got to do more research. What's your question? Blah, 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 blah. Let me get you on with somebody that can answer that. Then you come to me. Then you come to another human being. Let the Wellness Simplified do most of the work for us. Let the automation of that take over. That's typically enough that people need, with a follow-up from you. And then when you have that follow-up with them, you ask them, It's decision time. Did you read it? I did. Did it make sense? Yes, it did. Are you ready to become a customer? Or did you have any follow-up questions? I got some questions. Great. What's your question? Great question. Let me get you on with my proof guy. Let me get you on with my senior business partner or anybody that can answer that. And then they finish it up. Makes
Okay,
sense?
so I'm going the right way with them.
Very
Okay.
good.
I thought earlier you said they should all be turned over.
No, I might have, and if I did, I mean that from the business partner side. When they're interested in the business, that's the one that you absolutely want to pass that over. You know a guy, and then when you're,
I do have them saying, if I get into this and it works,
Mhm.
I'm going to be your best salesperson ever.
Absolutely, then you're like, ah.
So 90 days from now, they're starting to kick ass and take names.
Yeah, and the other thing is, Mike's been in for 3 weeks. Some people will come in and they expect to bring in 10, 15, 20 people just right away. That's great. I'm up for that. I'm all excited about that. I know from personal experience that is not an easy thing to do. I hit Sapphire in 31 days by the skin of my teeth. I've been doing this for 7 years. I'm busy. I got all kinds of other stuff going on too. Everybody on this thing's busy. There's a lot going on. So have some great goals. Push like crazy. Try to make that happen. But have goals, but don't freak out on expectations. That's another thing I'll tell people. Some of you guys are stressing the hell out of yourselves. Nobody else is stressing you. You're stressing yourself out. Keep the pressure on, but don't set it so much where the pressure that you're applying to yourself crushes you where you can't even walk. Some of you got gravity turned all the way up and you can't move. Dial it back a little bit. Find that right amount of push, but also make sure you give yourself a little slack here and there too. Take the action. All right, more questions. $43 of y'all. None of y'all on here made it to double black diamond.
I have something, Casey.
Thank you.
We have a couple of new folks on. Would you mind just going through just the ad tag follow-up and the RP3, just your version of it to reiterate what they're being taught? Is that okay? Is this appropriate?
Yeah. Were you on at the very beginning of the call or did y'all come on after?
No, I was on.
Okay. So tell me what you're looking. I'm all in for
just
that.
when you draw it out, like just the way you draw it out when you are showing new people.
Okay. So you've
done it a couple different ways. So whichever, the RP3 and the ATF.
And I'm going to do a short version of this because I went into this hardcore on Monday, but watch that recording from Monday for everybody, but I'll hit it real quick here.
You can always just tell me no.
I'm good with it. No, I'm just
okay.
I'm just not going to do the hour I did on it on Monday.
Okay.
So what you've got is I talk about doing the why and then the list. And then once you get that set up, then you're going to go out and do what I talk about, which is rapport. I talk about peak. And I talk about the edify and passing. Okay. So the R is the rapport. RP3 ATF, you'll hear that mentioned as well from a process perspective. The P is the peak. The three-way is a couple of parts. It's the edify, passing, and then what happens is there's an inoculation that occurs by the senior business partner. But it is doing a three-way conversation. It's you and your prospect and your senior business partner having communication. And your job there is this is where you're going to pass and say, I know a guy. Just like if you were at your friend's house and you're building rapport with them and their sink stopped up and you go, hey, I see that you got a stopped up sink. You don't seem happy about that. I'm not. Why do you ask? I ask because I know a guy that can fix your sink. And they go, cool, you have piqued my interest. What is that person's name? Who are they? And then you say, no worries, I'll take care of this. Let me put you guys together. and it's you, it's your person that invited you over for dinner, and it's the plumber. And you handle those steps. You are the person in between that puts everybody together because you know the plumber and you know the prospect. You know your senior business partner and you know your prospect. And so you're going to edify your plumber. Joe, I got to tell you, this plumber over here, Mike, is the best plumber I have ever had. He will fix anything. He's never failed in being able to fix somebody's drain problem. And they say, cool, very good. And then you said, Mike, this is my friend, Joe. Joe has a stopped up sink and would really like to get that fixed. Joe, this is Mike. Mike, this is Joe. And then you hit the mute button so that the expert, the plumber, can get on the phone and diagnose the problem with the sink and fix the sink. And when they get on there, there's going to be some objections that that Joe's going to have, the homeowner, to Mike, the plumber. Well, how much does it cost? How long is it going to take? I got to check with my wife. You know, these are the common things that you're going to hear in that too. But the plumber is the plumber. The plumber's been doing this for a while. The plumber knows how to get around all of those stupid objections. The plumber knows how to put a bullet in a little terrorist head that's sitting on your shoulder talking nonsense in your ear. So then after we get done with that, when I am having that conversation with the prospect and I overcome all of those concerns, then what I do is I ask them, it's like, hey, did I get your interest in this thing? Did I blow your hair back? They say, yeah, I want to know more information. Let me do this. Let me add you on Facebook. And then I'm going to tag you in a couple of private Facebook groups. And I'm going to get you in there. One of them's Wellness Simplified, talks about the product, has a video. And then the other one I have is the DFY system that talks about a lot of business success that we've had in this thing. And it also has a video in there that goes into some good detail. I'm going to tag you on a 12-minute video that's in there. And I'm also going to tag you on a thing they did on Monday night a couple of weeks ago. And they really went in and did a great presentation and explained how this business works. If I add you and tag you on those things, will you take a look at it? If I would you. That's what I do in this step. That's the add, that's the tag. And then inside of that, they're going to get their presentation. That's when they get the info. Some of you start off on the very first step and you start doing a presentation. Hey, I got to show you this. Let me explain blueberries to you. And you go on for the next 45 minutes doing a presentation. Look at all the steps that happen before that and an effective invitation. Now, some people say, well, I'd rather just go out and just hit the masses with this thing and go crazy and just get them in front of the information as quick as possible without asking anything about them. You can have that too. There's a lot of doctor's offices set up like that where it's a puppy mill, man. You're just running through there and you're just a profit machine to them. And that's great. I don't have a problem with it. If that's how you want to do it, that's cool. This, I find, is going to build better, longer, and sustain. And then the final one here is the follow-up. Now, out of all these steps, here's what you need to do. You need to build rapport. You need to pique their interest. You need to edify, and you need to pass, and your part's done. Your senior business partner inoculates them, has the conversation with them. A video is going to do the presentation for them. You will need to follow up with them later and say, hey, did you watch that information? Oh, you didn't? Oh, I thought you had a problem. Remember that problem back here that you said that you wanted to solve? I thought you wanted to fix that. Why don't you go ahead and take a look at that information? Oh, you're not interested? Cool. No problem. Have a good day. You don't like sushi? No problem. Moving on. You want to keep sitting on that nail. You want to keep howling about how it hurt so bad, but you don't want to do anything to get off the nail. I can't help you. Now, if you can have a good conversation with them, if you can break through all of that with them, then you can impact their life. That's a skill. That is a skill. That's you not worrying about you. That's you worrying about them. That's another skill. Getting outside of your own head. Stop making it about you. Make it about them. You help enough people. Zig said it, nailed it. You help enough people get what they want, you can have anything you want. Zig did not say it in reverse order. He said it in that order for a reason. People that come into this thing that are doing it for them are not going to get everything they want. Why? Because they're not helping enough other people get what they want. That's how it works. The best words, I've heard them forever, and they mean more and more to me the older and older I get. Everybody know how to hit Jade now? Anybody feel that, you know what, Casey, that all sounds good, but I don't get it. This isn't going to, I've been doing all the stuff you just said, and it ain't working. Anybody at that point, unmute your phone and say something. Cool. If you don't want to have that conversation in front of everybody, reach out to me on Facebook Messenger. Send me a private message. Now that y'all do feel confident and you do know what the steps are, I go back to what I started with today. No trainer, nor coach, nor expert can make you good, great, or unstoppable if you aren't going to do the work. If it's uncomfortable, it's because you're in your own head. You're worried about you. You're worried about what they're going to think of you. Get your mindset on that. Get your mind right on that you're here to impact their lives. When you impact their lives, yours gets impacted. Don't feel weird about this. Do I offer terrorist training? I offer terrorist eradication. If you want to have some of the best terrorist eradication training, go to a little thing called Landmark Forum. And it will start tinkering with this little fella. And then go take the advanced course, and then you can go help other people tinker with their little terrorist. And hopefully get rid of them, at least temporarily. And when people, all we do, Sarah's going next weekend. That's so cool. I'm so proud of you. We had a great chat with her, Sarah and I, on a summit call in front of 20 other people, and it was pretty powerful. And coming out of that, she saw some things she hadn't seen before, that it's impossible to know what's right there behind you at the base of your neck. You just don't know because you can't see it. And when you can't see it, it's blind to you. It's a blind spot. Other people see it. They see it all the time. If you can effectively, because you care about the person, not because you want to be right and point out somebody else's flaw, but when you want to help them, that's pretty cool. That's what we do here. You're doing it at a level already when you get good at this business. It's just taking it to its logical conclusion. It's pretty powerful. So what we do is we interrupt people's thoughts by first focusing on what they want. And have you ever had somebody come up to you and just start talking about them? I mean, literally walk into your office, they sit down and they start telling you all their stuff. It is very difficult to sit there and show genuine interest in that other person. For me anyway. I don't know if y'all are Superman, but it irritates me when somebody just comes in and just takes 20 minutes of my day to talk about themselves. Now, if I ask, I'm cool with it. But if I didn't ask, man, holy smokes. But if you can turn that around and say, you know what, when they sit here and they tell me all their stuff, if you do a good job of listening to that and you ask some really key, poignant questions, and if one of the things that they're saying when they sit there for 20 minutes is a check mark on the little survey box that you've got, then you can really, really, really have some good conversations with people and interrupt them. Say, look, I've been sitting here for 20 minutes listening to you go on and on and on. And you said something that intrigued me. Tell me more about that specific thing about you not being able to sleep at night. Why are you asking about that? Well, I'm glad you asked me. Let me take over the conversation here, and we're going to talk about Kyani for a little bit. They gave you what you needed. So use that. All right, I got a question on here from Rupali, who is blowing this thing up right now. I've been hearing some great stuff. Hi Casey, can someone already in network marketing with other company can also do Kyani? Absolutely, 100%. Here's what they most likely are not allowed to do. They're not allowed to go to that other organization and do what's called cross-recruiting and take those people from that organization and show them this other organization. But unless the other company that they're with is in the exact same space that we're in, for instance, maybe, I don't know, they're an electricity company or something like that, and they happen to start into a health and wellness company, no problem. You just can't go into that electricity company and bring everybody over while you're still with the electricity company, that is. Rupali, does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Congrats on the customer. I hear you are lining some things up here.
Yes.
That's
trying
awesome.
hard.
Yeah, I'd say you're doing, not just trying.
Okay.
That's awesome. Good deal. Great question. All right, Ms. Hartwell, I have built rapport with a guy this week, and he said he wanted to be rich. He even told me he would work in with the mafia if he needed to. Then I asked him if he wanted to change it. He said yes, and I said, okay, I will set up a three-way, and you can talk to my expert. He said no. Cool. Anybody else run into something like that before? Raise your hand. Awesome. Here's what you can do. You can just say, okay. And with somebody like that, I might just say, okay, good luck. Have a good day. Bye-bye. You can't fix dum-dums. Or depending on your relationship and depending on if you want to stand up for this guy and invest some time in somebody else, then you can go in and try to figure out, hey, let me get this straight. What are you afraid of? Now, this is going to happen a lot, by the way. They are afraid all of a sudden when you said, you want to talk to my expert, something happened in their past that the little terrorist that's sitting right here, the keeper of their past, said, oh, red alert, not good. You remember that time we had to talk to that principal and you got in trouble and you got expelled from school and that's not good. So you probably don't want to talk to that guy. And what does this person say? Nope, I'm good. Never mind. It can be something that's stupid because that little terrorist is amazingly effective. Constantly talking noise about stuff that has nothing to do with what's going on now. But just so you know, y'all all, you can laugh too, and I laugh too, but I've got my own little terrorist, and that little fella is still in business. Now, I beat him to just about to death, but he's still there. He still hangs on. He's like on the back, just like holding on, you know. I don't know how he does it, but he's still there. Everybody's got one. He's got one too. So what you can do is now there's some people that even though I know I haven't gotten to that point where I can get over that. I haven't evolved to that level. There's some people that you have now effectively irritated me and I'm done talking with you today. I'm moving on. That's me. Some people have a whole lot better ability to stick around and solve that, and God bless them. I try to get as many of those people on my team as possible because that ain't me yet. What you can do is you can try to I call it try to landmark them if you want, but you want to be able to have the conversation with them and figure out, hey, hold on a second, pause, time out. You said you want to do this, then you want to do this. You were getting ready to take on the mafia or whatever that meant. And then I say, let me put you on with somebody and you just crawled in a hole. What the heck, man? What happened? Is this something that's happened in the past? Have you done something like this before? Start asking questions to figure out what's going on in their world. Show that you care. Build the rapport with them even deeper and show that you care. Now, we are doing a business. We're not here I'm doing a business. Some of y'all have a different goal in that, and I'm cool with that. But if you're doing it from a business perspective, sometimes you're going to look at that and go, not bringing a lot to the table as a business partner to this enterprise. Some of you reach out to some people that have no business being in your business. Now you can reach out to them if you want to be a customer. I'm completely cool with that. But if you're looking at it from a business partner, there's some people that you would have been better to not even brought that up to them. Look at their track record. Look at their integrity. Look at what they do. Now, assuming that this guy has all those things in place and he's just having a bad day or something's freaking him out, find out what it is. A really good way to find out what it is to ask this question. What is it? You said no to talking to this guy. Something scared you. What is it that you think you have to do after you get on the phone with this guy or say yes to what it is we're doing? What do you think you have to do? Because whatever you think we have to do is freaking you out, and that's why you're not moving forward and investigating this. There is a fear of something. What are you afraid that you're going to have to do? If they won't answer you, you don't have enough trust with them. That's all there is to it. You haven't made enough deposits in their emotional bank account where they feel comfortable sharing that with you. If you have, then they'll share. Sometimes you can make an emotional deposit in 13 seconds with somebody. I have a good track record of building rapport with people quickly. I don't know how I do it. I just do it. That's all there is to it. I ask questions. I put myself in their shoes. I'm empathetic to them on what they're going through. And I've done it for a long time, and I've gotten good at it. Are you going to be able to do that your second day in the game? Probably not. That's why you don't quit. You just keep doing it and you keep getting better at it. But you don't have to be at this level to be successful at this. You got to hit Jade. You need 3. So ask those questions. Ask that specific question. That question will get you a long ways in this business. It will cause them to have a conversation with you. It will get that terrorist to shut up for a second. The main reason is the terrorist hasn't heard those words said that way before. It's another reason that sometimes when people just keep asking, well, what is it? No, I'm not talking to that guy until you at least tell me something. That's the terrorist talking, by the way. Then what you can say is, I've got the distribution rights to an international nutraceutical company offered in 63 countries that's been around for 11 years. You want to find out about it or not? The little terrorist goes, oh, I've never heard that before. I don't know what to do now. You're on your own. And it will disrupt their little feedback loop in their head, all those chemical reactions going back and forth. When somebody says something to them, they have that instantaneous response. I was thinking about this. I think I said it at lunch today. You walk into into an Academy Sports and Outdoors sporting goods store. You walk in, you're there for golf balls. Who do you run into? You run into a person that's officially called the greeter. What does the greeter say to you? Hello, how are you doing today? How may I help you? What do you say? All of y'all in unison. I'm good. I'm just looking. And then what do? You turn right, and then you walk around the store. And then you finally find the golf balls 10 minutes later, and then you see a whole wall of golf balls. And then what do? I'm not quite sure which one I want here. And then what do? You start looking around, and you start looking at your watch, and you're looking around, and you got this irritated look on your face, and you're thinking to yourself, where the hell are the people that work here that need a service and help me with finding these golf balls? If you'll think back 10 minutes ago, you met the guy that would be able to help you with that. You could have just walked in and said, hey, dude, I'm here for golf balls. Where do I go? Get me your golf ball expert. I need them quickly. You don't do that. Why? I don't know. We're human. We just do that. Now, if the greeter was really good, the greeter would have been somebody that went to the Landmark Forum, and he would ask the right questions. What are you here for today? I'm good. I'm just looking. Bullshit. You're here for something specific. Otherwise, you wouldn't walk through that door. I'm here to help you. You can walk around for 10 minutes, or you can let me help you and give you the best service on planet Earth. That would be cool if a greeter said that when you walked in. I'd enjoy that immensely myself. Ask the right questions. You're the greeter. Ask the right questions. All they're saying, I'm good, I'm just looking. Why? Because you don't want to be bothered. You got your path. You're going to go down your path. It's comfortable. It's normal. You're used to it. Interrupt that. That's your job, is to disrupt that, to get them to think about stuff differently. They truly aren't happy about what they're doing on a daily basis, or they wouldn't have checked the little box in the survey that says, do you want to fix some of these things? Yes, they do. You just got to get past the terrorist. All right. Any final questions? Was this helpful? Thumbs up if it was helpful. Okay, good.
Mike has a question.
Yeah, Mr. Casey, I was going to ask my little girl Blanca, the one from Ireland.
Yeah.
You saw her version of a no, and my answer. You probably read from my answer that I'm not quite done with her yet.
I did.
What do you think of that, and where should I go with her in your mind?
Follow up with her and ask her what it was that she wasn't passionate about, or dig in more into what her no really meant to her.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's why I kept quiet on that. I'm letting you go on that because that's what I did. I saw, I was like, he ain't done.
No, not at all.
That's just the first rejection. That's just the first hurdle. That's just getting warmed up.
Well, and I passed her, kind of quick because I didn't want to get the discussion started, but I also probably didn't build as much rapport as I'd like to have.
Yeah.
And I think she kind of looks at me as a leader. I think I can probably go back and do that now and get somewhere.
Yeah, I like it. And that's a good statement that Mike just made there. You want to go through people, but you want to make sure you build and ask enough questions to be able to find out. And when you'll know the right people you're working with. Use your gut on that. There's some people say, I need to spend a little bit more time with this one. This one's bringing something to the table. So, yeah, good question. Awesome. All right, I'm going to unmute the line so everybody can say good night. I appreciate you all joining us. And next one's going to be on Saturday morning with Mr. Spencer Wynn. Also, just a heads up for Houston market. We're going to have the regional on May 19th. We did get the approval for that. I'm working on getting the website set up. I need to figure out on the pricing. I need to talk with Mr. Bradford on that and see if we can get in on the discounted stuff they're doing. So that's why I haven't posted that. But confirmed May 19th. We'll find out if there's going to be a cost or if it's going to be $25 like we normally do, and then we'll go from there. All right, everybody, y'all have a great night, and thank y'all for joining.
Good night, John Boy.
I haven't got that in a while.
Thanks, Casey.
Thank you.
My pleasure, guys. My pleasure. Thank y'all for joining.